Welcome to the Success Sensei podcast for anyone interested in success, happiness, and balance. We'll teach you how to be a black belt at life. And now, your host, former professional fighter, multiple world champion, entrepreneur, and investor, Robert Devane.
Bowing in. This is Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei, helping you to win at life one kick and punch at a time. Episode 278. Unsuccessful people copy the result and not the process.
It's the Success Sensei podcast main event.
Unsuccessful people copy the result and not the process. Or do you say process where you're from? I'm in a busier part or area than normal, so there might be a little bit of traffic going by because, as you know, if you're a regular listener, sometimes it's nice to record these remotely and to squeeze them into a daily routine so it doesn't feel like it's such a chore getting them done. And I actually enjoy doing it, and I enjoy the sense of achievement per episode, but it's nice not to have to orchestrate and create a specific portion of your day, which might not actually be possible depending on what's going on. So it's a long-winded way of saying this is being recorded remotely. So apologies for any outside traffic noise because I'm in a busy enough lay-by. Okay, unsuccessful people copy the result and not the process. That is a harsh title, Unsuccessful. It might be a bit harsh. And, you know, what is success and what is being unsuccessful? Who knows? It's very subjective. It's up to everybody. I've recorded episodes on that in the past. But basically what we're saying is that you're setting yourself up for failure if you are chasing the rewards without doing the hard work. So that's what we're saying. All of us are guilty of it at some stage. And, you know, it is easy to become more unsuccessful or less successful or, you know, to set yourself up for failure by looking at the nice things that people have, the nice items, you know, the nice trips, the clothes or cars or material possessions or even lifestyle. You have to remember, all of these things are the very last part of a successful journey. Now, unless you're actually following a faker, someone who's faking it, fake it till you make it, all of these material possessions, all the trappings of success, the trappings of wealth are the final part. They're the last stage of a successful path. They're certainly not the first part of the path. So to want them early or to attempt to attain them early could affect your long-term goals. Could put you on the back foot, could put you at a disadvantage, especially financially. Buying, you know, a supercar now before you can afford to even run a supercar, you know, could be a very bad idea early on. So the trappings of success and the appearance of success is only the top of the pyramid. I'm sure you've seen diagrams that only like less than a third of the pyramid is above water, and below the water is the majority of the iceberg. And it could equate to hardships for years, or hours, most certainly, possibly over years. The immense hardship of, you know, stress, the toll on your body and mind, the lack of focus, the frustration, the blood, sweat and tears, the anxiety, the fear, the hard work, the lack of sleep, the burnout, the PTSD, all of these hardships on a path, you know, that could ultimately, you know, end up bearing the fruits of your labor and end up, you know, giving you the trappings of success or the trappings of wealth, whatever that may be to you and to other people. it's obviously not, none of that negative stuff that we've just mentioned is projected. It's not sold. It's not a part of the dream. It's not as sellable as showing you the end result. So keep that in mind. The negative side of things, our failures, our hardships along the journey, our self-doubt isn't as publicized as, all the wonderful trappings of being successful. So keep that in mind. Again, I'll remind you that all of the nice items, nice things, that it's the last, that's the last part of the journey that shows a long journey, a long path, like the iceberg, but it doesn't let you see all the hardships and all the obstacles on the route to attaining all of that. So it's kind of like, I suppose it equated to thirst. Now everyone thinks that thirst is the first indication of being dehydrated, but it's actually one of the final indicators of dehydration. You're supposed to be, just from a health and fitness point of view, you're supposed to be sipping water and drinking water before you get thirsty. If you get thirsty, it's one of the final indicators. So that already means you are, dehydrated. So you're supposed to be drinking throughout the day and not waiting to be thirsty. So it's kind of like the same with the material possessions, with the fancy car, the fancy house, the fancy clothes. That is the final indicator of success. That's the final part of the path and of the journey. I think you got the point. I don't want to hammer it to death. I think you got me right. Beware now, because once you cash out, that money has finished its journey. So once you have decided you are going to, reap the rewards of your labor, and you actually cash out and you purchase whatever it is you're going to purchase, that money has come to the end of its journey. So you can't then, reuse that money. That money is going to depreciate, unless you bought assets. But that's more of an investment. We're specifically talking about things, the trappings of success, which generally don't appreciate in value. They make life a little bit nicer, they make your environment a little bit nicer, but they generally are depreciating assets. So keep in mind that once you cash out and you purchase any of these things, that money, has come to the end of its journey. Instead, see how far you can go, see how far you can climb. Most business owners, most entrepreneurs will constantly reinvest the profits. They will constantly reinvest instead of, consolidating their profit by withdrawing the money, cashing out and spending it on frivolous items that might impress other people temporarily, or piss them off, or increase their jealousy. And you might love them for a while, but then after a while they're just material possessions, and especially if they're losing value all the time. A good way to do it, that a lot of, high net worth individuals are so-called, in inverted commas, successful people, or business people or entrepreneurs will suggest, is that, the rewards are based on your achievements or your outcomes. And if possible, they actually pay for themselves. You do have to beware of lifestyle creep. That's an episode we did. I can't remember offhand what number. We did talk about lifestyle creep. It is something you're going to have to be aware of as your investments become worth more, as you potentially earn more money, as your assets increase in value. You absolutely have to be aware of lifestyle creep, because there is an opportunity cost. So again, every time you cash out, every time you spend money, and you take it out of the cycle of creating you more money, then, you're not seeing how far it is that you can go. I'm not saying deprive yourself of something that you genuinely really want, because if that's a driver for your goals, then you have to see it to the end. But if it's not something that you genuinely need, then, potentially you are stopping your growth, at least in one area anyway. So do you really need it? Or do you really want it? Now, really wanting it is fine as well. It doesn't have to necessarily be a need. If you really, really want something, that's fine too. It's totally up to you. But make a plan to have it using passive income, or, a new business venture or a new area of business. That way, one thing that you want to achieve is actually encouraging positive action and positive growth in you. So I hope that's given you something to think about. Don't just latch on to what you see other people posing with, or pretending, or whatever. You know what I'm saying. The fakers on Instagram, the stuff that's designed to create lots of jealousy and envy, and don't fall for it. As soon as you buy that Lamborghini, that's a hell of a chunk of money that you've just put into something that could have been used for something else, never mind the running costs, etc., etc. So really be sure about who you are, be sure about what motivates you, choose carefully about what you actually want to achieve. It can be that Lamborghini is fine. If it's your true north, if it's a genuine want and it's a genuine goal, and you're willing to do the hours and the years of hardship, then yeah, by all means. But wouldn't it be nice if it also was something that, paid for itself, or if something else that you've created out of nothing helps you to pay for, said item, that would be a brilliant circle of life, successful circle of life. So have a think about it. Message me anytime, thesuccesssensei.com. Thank you for listening. I'm Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei. Life is a fight you can enjoy and win. Bowing out.
This has been the Success Sensei, fighting the winning fight. So add us, subscribe, like, and comment. Keep those hands up and keep moving forward.